A sudden jolt in the world's headlines. News breaks of a powerful U.S. airstrike deep within the rugged terrain of Iran's Zagros Mountains. The targeted site, a fortified missile storage facility buried beneath the ancient rock, shudders under the force of precision-guided munitions. Military analysts, governments, and citizens across the globe watch with anticipation and unease. Yet, no one could have predicted what would follow only hours later. A 5.1 magnitude earthquake, its epicenter a mere 20 kilometers from the scene of the strike, shaking the region and jolting the world into a state of speculation and alarm. Overnight, images and footage begin to flood in from the city of Elam and surrounding areas. Buildings shudder as the tremor ripples through the streets, sending residents fleeing into the open, their faces masked by fear and confusion. Emergency sirens wail against the backdrop of darkness, while first responders rush into action, navigating debris-strewn roads and tending to the injured. The sense of panic is palpable, heightened by the surreal convergence of man-made and natural catastrophe. As dawn breaks, the world's attention turns to the question on everyone's mind. Could the U.S. airstrike have triggered the earthquake? The timing and location are impossible to ignore. Satellite imagery paints a stark picture. The quake's epicenter and the missile facility lie in near overlap, nestled within the restless folds of the Zagros Range. Iran's Revolutionary Guard issues a swift and furious response, denouncing the American attack as an act of war, and, in a striking accusation, blaming the United States for waging war not only on Iran, but on nature itself. Their statement reverberates through state media and social platforms, fueling outrage and suspicion. In Washington, the Pentagon faces a barrage of questions. Officials maintain a careful posture, neither confirming nor denying any link between the military operation and the seismic event. They reiterate that the mission targeted deeply buried infrastructure believed to house components for ballistic missiles, and that every precaution was taken to avoid collateral damage. Yet, they stop short of addressing the earthquake directly, leaving the door open for interpretation and for speculation to thrive. Into this silent step, geophysicists and experts, drawn into the maelstrom of debate. They explain that Iran's mountainous west sits atop a network of active fault lines, and that earthquakes are a regular, if unpredictable, part of life in the region. But the circumstances are unusual. It is theoretically possible, one expert notes, for a powerful underground explosion to perturb a fault that's already stressed to the brink. If conditions are just right, a military detonation could act as the final straw. Still, they caution, a 5.1 magnitude event is no minor tremor. Natural tectonic forces are immense, and it is statistically unlikely for even a significant blast to trigger a quake of that size. The science remains inconclusive, but the suspicion persists. Meanwhile, the story explodes across social media. Hashtags like QuakeStrike and Seismic War trend globally, as users dissect satellite images, pore over soundwave data, and share theories ranging from plausible to fantastical. Some claim evidence of geo-weapons and secret tectonic warfare, citing obscure patents and declassified documents. Others point to the long history of earthquakes in the region, urging caution against jumping to conclusions. The online conversation becomes a digital battleground, reflecting the real-world tensions simmering between nations. For ordinary Iranians, however, the debate is anything but abstract. The earthquake compounds an already dire situation, as families contend with damaged homes, disrupted services, and the specter of further conflict. Humanitarian organizations mobilize, providing shelter and medical aid, while government officials vow to rebuild and protect their citizens. In the midst of geopolitical gamesmanship, it is the people on the ground who bear the brunt of uncertainty and loss. The incident marks a new and unsettling chapter in the region's history. The Zagros Mountains, ancient and unyielding, have witnessed centuries of conflict, but rarely has the line between human action and natural consequence seemed so blurred. The possibility that a weapon of war could shake the Earth itself captures the imagination and fear of all who hear the story. It raises profound questions about the limits of military power and the unforeseen consequences that can ripple out from a single act. Geopolitical analysts warn that this event could escalate already heightened tensions. Iran's government seizes on the narrative of environmental aggression, seeking to rally domestic and international support. U.S. officials, for their part, focus on the strategic necessity of neutralizing missile threats, but must also grapple with the optics and the ethics of their actions. The world's major powers watch closely, aware that the intersection of military technology and environmental impact represents a new frontier in the conduct of war. Beneath the headlines and hashtags, the deeper truth remains elusive. Was the earthquake the product of tectonic inevitability, merely coinciding with a moment of human conflict? Or did the thunder of bombs beneath the mountains tip the balance, unleashing the latent energy of the Earth? Science may never provide a definitive answer, and in the vacuum of certainty, narrative and myth take root. What is clear is that the incident has forced a reckoning with the unintended consequences of force. In an age where technology grants unprecedented reach and precision, the boundaries between targeted action and collateral effect grow ever more porous. The specter of seismic warfare, once the stuff of science fiction, now occupies a place in the public consciousness, a reminder that in our pursuit of security and dominance, we may awaken forces far beyond our control. As the region rebuilds and the world debates, the legacy of this event will be measured not only in damaged infrastructure or shifting alliances, but in our collective understanding of power and responsibility. Whether coincidence or consequence, the tremor in the Zagros Mountains has become a symbol, a warning that in shaking the Earth, we may also shake the foundations of our own future. In the end, the question remains: is this the dawn of a new kind of warfare? One that blurs the line between human ambition and the primal forces of nature? Or is it merely a sobering reminder that, despite all our advances, we are still at the mercy of the ground beneath our feet? The answer, for now, lies buried deep within the fault lines, awaiting the next shock, the next tremor, the next reckoning.